Start off a little bit talking about who is Bromic Heating. Bromic Heating is actually a company based in Sydney, Australia. This product was developed in Australia to address outdoor heating needs that were a requirement after they initiated anti-smoking regulations. Bromic Heating is a distributor and a manufacturer. We have a number of different divisions. We have a refrigeration division which sells a lot of commercial refrigeration products like walk-ins and display cases. We have a plumbing division which sells a lot of products that go to the plumbing trade like gas hoses, regulators, sealants, bonding devices, and welding. And then the last division, which is the heating division, which I'm a part of, and we sell commercial heating products both for the residential and predominantly for outdoor products. Bromic Heating is a true global company. Our markets are all throughout New Zealand, Australia, Europe, again North America, and Latin America, including South America. So outdoor heating is a very strong, there's a lot of strong demand for good outdoor heating solutions. Hence we're able to sell our products all throughout the United States. Our tagline is we are industry innovators. And as you see the product line that we have in front of us here and we compare it to what's out there, you'll see that there's nothing like our outdoor heaters on the market, both from a style standpoint and from a function standpoint. Why outdoor heating? Well, actually, so when we're familiar with heating an indoor space. Typically speaking, an indoor space is an insulated area. You have, a roof, you have, walls, you have windows, and most of them are insulated. You use a forced air system of some kind or a furnace to heat an indoor area. Because the indoor area is insulated, the hot air that you generate is captured, and you thermostatically control that, so when it gets too hot, the heater turns off. If it gets too cold, the heater turns back on. The problem with outdoor heating is that it's not an insulated space, it's an open space. So you cannot use any type of forced air system to heat an outdoor area. What would basically happen is the hot air, you blow it out there and it immediately will dissipate. It'll rise straight up, which is what hot air does. And then also you cannot thermostatically control it because you have wind blowing through it, so it's a very unstable environment. So how do you heat an outdoor area? The only way that you can heat an outdoor area is by utilizing infrared or radiant heat. And what infrared or radiant heat is, it's the same type of heat that's generated by the sun. So when you go outdoors, even on a cold day, when you stand in front of the sun on a clear day, you are being warmed. That is what our heaters do. They're heating you via infrared radiation. We're heating objects, not air. So when you're sitting underneath our heaters, your body's actually being warmed. In turn, the tables and the floor and everything in that area is being warmed. That in turn emits radiant heat into the area, and that's how the air slowly gets warmed. So when our heaters are in an area, both the combustion of the gas and the infrared is how we are able to heat an area. And if an outdoor patio is properly designed, that hot air gets captured in there and it stays in there, and that's how you create the warming effect. Yes?
How does the heaters that we're used to seeing on patios, the ones that look like a big lamp?
The mushroom heaters.
Those are forced air?
No, they are also supposed to be radiant heaters, but as I talk about our product line, I'll explain what the difference is. They basically have a very weak radiant component to them. That's why they don't work as effectively.
Okay, thank you.
So why do you guys want to care about heating an outdoor area? Well, for restaurants, outdoor patios are a very big profit centers. When you look at a lot of the chains that are out there, like you take a sports bar like Buffalo Wild Wings, which we do business with, they invest heavily in those outdoor patios. And the reason they do that is because they know that their patrons like to be outdoors and enjoy food, drink, watch the games, etc. When you go on a Buffalo Wild Wings patio, you'll see a lot of flat panel TVs, you'll see heaters. It's a huge profit center. A properly designed outdoor patio generates revenue for a restaurateur. I gave you guys kind of an example, and if you go to your handout on the page here in the back, how much money can a heated outdoor patio generate? I took a kind of an example of an average size patio, which would include 10 tables, 4-person outdoor tables. We estimate that, especially in this northern part of the country, you can increase your usage of an outdoor patio by approximately 12 weeks, sometimes even 16 weeks, which is about 4 months. So we anticipate 2 months into the fall and 2 months when the spring season starts. But I'm going to average it to say about 3 months. Extra table turns per week, 9. Average revenue per patron, $30. What that equates to the restaurateur by being able to keep his patio open longer is approximately $129,000 in revenue. So if you're selling heat to your customers, you're selling him extra profit. This is kind of what I want you really to take away more than anything beyond all the different, speeds and feeds of the heaters. But when you're talking to your customer, you want to talk to him about increased revenue. I have a solution that if you install this in your restaurant, I can show you a way how to make more money. That's what's going to get them interested. So what would be the investment to your customer to be able to properly heat his outdoor patio? Again, patios vary in size and dimension, but I'm just going to give you an average patio, and this was the example. It's about approximately a 40 by 12 length by width patio. You'd utilize approximately 5 of our 500 series gas heaters to heat that patio, including the heat shields. That equates to about an $8,675 investment in equipment. You have to also factor in installation costs. And to install 5 of these heaters could be anywhere between $5,000 to $8,000. And this is an average that I've derived from the hundreds of projects that we've done. So I've estimated on the high side, and I'm going to say it's going to cost about $8,000 to install these 5 heaters. The initial investment is $16,675. Take your revenue increase of $129,000 minus your initial investment, you're coming out to a revenue of $112,325. Average gross margin from a restaurateur on the low side is 30%. If they're making less than 30%, they're not going to be in business very long. So I equated 30% margin. That is an additional profit of around $34,000. So again, this is the value proposition that you want to articulate, because when you start presenting numbers to them, they're going to compare to the cheapest heater that they can buy on the market. So then you have to kind of pull them back and tell them why they should invest in this product. And then we're going to go through the features and benefits of why our heaters are better than the cheapest solution that's on the market. So keep in mind, if you're selling outdoor heat to your customers, you're selling him profit. It's $200 right across the street at Home Depot. A lot of restaurateurs do that, but they fully understand that these heaters cannot effectively heat an outdoor area. Also, they're prone to breakage. The cheaper the heater, the less time it'll be used. They continually break. So our answer to a portable heater is this unit right here. It's the only true radiant portable heater on the market. So to your question, a mushroom heater has a mesh burner in the center of it. That's what's generating the heat, burning and combusting the gas. That metal mesh acts as the radiant component. Radiant component is, again, generating infrared radiation that's supposed to be projected into an area. It is a very highly inefficient infrared unit. Furthermore, they put the cap on top of it because they're trying to capture some of the infrared radiation that's rising up and project it down. So the useful range of a mushroom heater is approximately 3 feet. What our heaters have is we have a patented technology we developed, we call it Smart Heat. And basically what Smart Heat is, we have ceramic burn elements. We have the largest infrared burn area of any heater that's on the market. So when you compare us to other units out there, our infrared burn area is larger than any other heater on the market. But furthermore, we have the smallest heaters. So we have the smallest form factor, yet the largest burn area. That's how we're able to generate infrared radiation into an area. So one of our 40,000 BTU heaters, which consumes the same amount of gas as a standard portable mushroom heater, will heat approximately 200 square feet of area. How do you equate that to a mushroom heater? You would need 4 portable propane mushroom heaters to heat that same area. And when you're talking about cost of ownership, when you're comparing propane to natural gas on a wall mount, a 40,000 BTU Bromic heater burning natural gas costs 40 cents per hour to heat 200 square feet of area. A portable propane mushroom heater consumes 40,000 BTU, which costs you $2.50 per hour per heater. So to heat the same area will cost you $10 per hour versus 40 cents per hour. So when you start talking to your customers, not only are you talking to him about making more money, but you're also talking to him about saving money by taking those portable propane mushroom heaters away and using a more efficient system to heat it. Over time, people actually get their money back just on the savings on the propane versus natural gas by installing our heaters. So that's the value proposition of using our heaters.
Carl, does that one use propane?
The portable uses propane. And that it's part of our overall solution, outdoor solution design, because depending upon the area, depending upon the mount points you have, how your patio is designed, if we don't have a place to suspend or hang it, you still have to go to portable. But we don't want them to go with a mushroom heater, so we developed this because the customers actually were asking for it. So it's a heater that we put into the area where we don't have a mount point for our wall mount heaters. Italia, these are basically flaming towers. I think everybody has seen them. They're really visually appealing, especially at night. They create a lot of ambiance, and the restaurateurs has bought them in hope of being able to heat their patio as well. However, they're very, very inefficient heaters. They don't emit a lot of heat. They will consume a lot of gas, but they will not emit a lot of heat. So if you have any customers that have these on their patio, they're ideal candidates either for a demo of one of these units or convince them to add a couple of wall mounts to actually heat the patio effectively. Other heaters that are on the market, there are other competing wall mount heaters on the market. The biggest name out there is a company called Infrared Dynamics called Sunpack. This heater's been on the market for about 30 years and is one of our main competing devices when we talk about wall mount heaters. Another one below it, I took a picture of it. This is called a Sunglow, and they basically took a portable propane mushroom heater head, put it into a metal frame, and suspended it from a ceiling. Again, very inefficient heaters. Our competitive advantage on the Sunpack is a 2-to-1. One of our heaters can heat the same area that they would need 2 of these. So even with our main wall mount competitor, we beat them on style and looks and also performance. Then other heaters that are out there are low intensity infrared, which would be a space ray. You've probably seen them. We call them tube heaters. And then a company out of Canada called Calcana. And I kind of wanted to show you, we're talking from a size standpoint. Again, I alluded to the fact that we have the largest ceramic burn area of any other heater on the market, yet we have the smallest form factor. And we're able to heat a larger area. And you could probably say, well, how can that be? Well, I'll give you an example. Take a look at this picture. You've got a tube heater above this entryway, and then I have underneath it my Platinum 500. I did a demonstration for these folks, and they changed those heaters out. Look at the size difference of that heater. My heater will actually project twice as far and twice as much area as that large heater that you see hanging over there. And we have higher wind resistance than this heater. Those are low intensity infrared heaters. Again, they're heating up the metal and they're emitting heat. We are actually exposing them directly to the ceramic burn area. That's why we're generating more heat into the area. And then on the electric side, you'll see our main competitor, which would be Infratech. Again, very industrial looking. This is a very sleek design. When they're installed into areas, when they're not on, you can't even notice them. The silver really stands out. So again, past generation heaters, mushroom heaters. The thing about mushroom heaters is they don't heat areas very well. They have very low wind resistance, which is the most important aspect of heating an outdoor area. If you've got wind blowing through it and you don't have true infrared radiation, it negates the effect that these heaters are generating. They're unsafe, they can fall over. When you are in a patio and you see all the dents on those mushroom heaters when you're there, it's because they fell over. That's what caused that. So they're very unsafe. And then of course you clear up floor space so you can add more tables. So now I'm going to go into our product line and kind of talk about them. So I have, basically in front of us here, I have all of the heaters that we sell that you guys would be selling and all the components and pieces. This is our tungsten gas heater. It comes both in natural gas and propane. This is our platinum heater. It comes both in natural gas and propane, tungsten electric, and then tungsten portable. All of our gas heaters either come in a 300 series or a 500 series, and 300 or 500 designates the amount of BTU or heat that they generate. The 300 series generates about 26,000 BTU and covers about 120 square foot of area. The 500 series burns approximately 40,000 BTU and covers approximately 200 square feet of area. Same with our Platinum series. Platinum 300 covers approximately 120 square feet and the 500 approximately 200 square feet. Other than the stylistic differences that you see on these heaters, One heater looks kind of like a loudspeaker, and this heater looks more like a flat panel TV. We've designed these heaters to look like objects that you see on outdoor patios. You'll see loudspeakers or you'll see flat panel TVs. So when they're not in operation, they're not distracting. They just think it's maybe a TV that's not on or a loudspeaker. But there's also a performance difference. It has to do with wind resistance. Because this is an open burner face, when the wind blows on it, it can blow the heating element down a little bit, which diminishes the heat. But as soon as the heat stops, it immediately comes back. Because we have a ceramic glass plate in front of the burn area, even when wind is blowing on it, it won't allow for a decrease of heat output. If it's so windy that it actually blows the ceramic element out and it has to reignite, this thing is 800 degrees. It continues to radiate heat. When you turn this heater off, it takes over an hour to cool down. So it's highly efficient as far as projecting heat into area, and it has the highest wind resistance out of any heater on the market today. What you see on top of it here is a heat deflector. So this heat deflector is required in most installations. Most patios are approximately 10 feet in height. So clearance to combustible is very important. We have to have at least 14 inches of clearance between the ceiling or soffit and the top of this heater. And the heat deflector added to that is what allows us to accomplish that. The bottom of the heater has to be 8 feet off the ground. 8 feet is an important number for safety reasons. We don't want people touching it. But also the higher up you are, the better you can project into an area. Since
What's the clearance for the ceiling again?
14 inches with the heat shield. Without a heat shield, you have to have at least a 13-foot high ceiling. The heaters mount two ways. Either flat onto a wall, and this is the wall bracket that actually goes behind the heater. This wall bracket contains the gas valve and the ignition control system. So these heaters are controlled via a power source. All you need is a standard North American power plug and a light switch, is as simple, or a remote control or any kind of what we call smart control system. So it can be controlled via iPad. I just have a customer right now in Florida that's installing 40 heaters on a very large outdoor patio, and he's using an iPad control system, and we're basically going to zone the heaters. So when we do installation, we look at the size of the patio and we zone the heaters. That's how we control temperature in an area, because the heaters are either on or they're off. So if somebody sits near the heater and they're too hot, we tell them to turn the heater off. So we have smart controls. So basically just a simple on-off switch, a 110 volt power source. We have a control module in here that is plugged into the heater, which has a flame sensor built into it. So as I was telling you guys, when the wind blows on it, it can blow the heater out. It senses that the flame is out and it'll try to reignite the heater. It'll go through a 3-step reignition cycle. If it can't reignite after 3 turns, it shuts the heater off. That's a safety feature, because we obviously don't want gas to continue to just flow into the area. So safety is built into the unit, automatic ignition, flame sensor, and then the gas valve. You can either mount the heaters on a wall, as I said, or you can suspend them. If you have a very large area, like in this area, we'd be suspending the heaters via ceiling poles. We have various different lengths of ceiling poles depending upon the height of the ceiling. This right here is the paddle. The wall mount just mounts straight via these 4 bolts onto the paddle. You can actually put 2 heaters back to back. So that's the gas line. And then in the electric line, we have 4 models. Yes?
In the gas line, so you would need a stationary gas pipe.
Yes.
So it has to be hard pipe.
Hard pipe, correct.
That's your installation cost.
That's the predominant installation cost. It's the most important, most expensive component is running that gas line. On the electric line, we have 4 models. We have a 2,000 watt, we have a 3,000 watt, we have a 4,000 watt, and we have a 6,000 watt. Predominantly speaking, you're going to be selling 4,000 watt and 6,000 watt heaters. The 4,000 watt and 6,000 watt heaters are dual element heaters. This is one of the elements that's inside of the heater. So this is a 2,000 watt, has a single element. So in the 4,000, 6,000, you'd have 2 elements, either a 2,000 watt element or a 3,000 watt element. Each element can be individually wired. So the way you can control the heat output, you can either have half power or full power. And again, just a simple on-off switch. Again, it has to be hardwired. All these heaters run on 200 volts. So you have to know the line service, either 208, 220, 240, or 277. So we make elements for each one of those voltage. And it's important because in a lot of restaurant bars, hotel bars, it's 208. And then a lot of residential is 220, 240. But we do have the elements that fit the line service. The electric heaters can also be recessed. So you can either, the mounting brackets come with the unit. These are the mounting brackets. You either suspend them just like you would have the fluorescent lights, or you'd mount them on the wall, projecting into the area. Lineup is our tungsten portable. Again, it's the only true infrared radiant heater on the market. It's really eye-catching. We actually just won a design award in Australia for it. It's called the Good Design Award. So there's nothing like it on the market, both from looks and also from performance. And again, it's part of our overall outdoor heating solution design. So depending upon the area, where you can mount the heaters, if it's an open space, that's where we'll place these units. The most important thing to keep in mind when working with Bromic heating, you have one vendor, one source. We manufacture both gas and electric and portable. Most other manufacturers either specialize on gas or they specialize on electric. Lastly, we have a free design service. So this is the most important part. When you find opportunities, when you find customers, please send us the plans. I have included in your packet a pre-installation checklist that you can complete. It gives you all of the relevant information that you want to ask your clients about the area. And then what you want to do is you want to send us pictures of the area. So we have a pre-installation checklist for both gas, and we have a pre-installation checklist for both electric. So if you go through this list, it'll give us all the information that we need to help you specify the correct heaters for the job. Yes?
If you had an area like we're sitting in, how many of those propane heaters would you have to efficiently have to?
I'm just going to eyeball it. About 6, approximately 6. Rule of thumb with any of our heaters, and I didn't go into great detail on it because we're kind of pressed on time for design considerations, but when we have a linear space, we place our 500 series 8 feet apart from each other. When we're going down a line like a room, we'll place them approximately 10 feet apart from each other. Although we can have heaters from one end to the other close to 30 feet apart, and they'll meet in the middle, you'll have less heat in the middle because the further away you are from a radiant heater, it somewhat diminishes the effect. But if it's a covered patio, because we're creating infrared radiation and convection heat from combusting the gas, that hot air from combusting the gas gets captured in the area as long as it's not too windy, and it'll help warm the area. But to answer your question, approximately 6.
How long can you expect the infrared elements to last?
We've been in the United States now, this is our 3rd season. I have heaters out there that have been out there for 3 years now, and we have not had any failure. We anticipate easily 5 years.
How about the ceramic elements?
5,000 hours of operation.
How expensive are the elements to replace?
Pardon me?
How expensive are those elements to replace?
They're about, I think about $140 for the element.
You do more gas, obviously, than electric.
You know what? We do a little bit more gas, but we're picking up in the electric as well, especially in the Northeast and urban areas.
Right.
So we have a lot of like little sidewalk cafes. It's not conducive to gas, so a lot of electric go in there.
Tracy, do you have any success stories in our marketplace?
We do. Monica has sold a couple of them, and also Kristen has a couple of them as well. We do a lot with the country clubs, and you guys, when you sell these, you don't sell 1, 2, or 3. They're taking 7 to 10 at a time, especially on the portables. That portable takes either 20-pound tank or a 40-pound propane tank. Each of the 20s will last 8 hours. So people like it on their dining areas. They like it in the men's club. Think about ballet. Think outside the box. Pool parties. Anything where it's mobile. You can create heat. They love it. And they don't just take one.
Yeah, Tracy makes a very good point, as far as success stories. So we've done a lot of work with National Change. We're installed in P.F. Chang's, Buffalo Wild Wings, Yard House, Sheraton Hotels, Hilton Hotels. They utilize our heaters for various different applications. It's not just a dining area. For instance, valet stands and queuing areas. We have a lot of heaters that go into valet areas as people are waiting for their cars. So that's a big application beyond just the standard what you think of, which is a dining area. So a lot of independent restaurateurs, national chains, heating is a big push.
Are you selling direct? Like if somebody calls you up direct, are you referring all your leads to dealers, or are you?
We are strict 2-tier, which basically manufacturer to distributor, and then distributor works with the dealers locally. We do not sell direct.
Come to us in Michigan, Illinois, and Wisconsin, and we will take it right back.
So if somebody comes through our website, we just kick it through into the channel.
So I'm a historic hotel and I have some buying agreement. You're still going to go to the
I'm sorry?
Just saying, like in a situation like where you're in a buying group or those country club buying groups,
Oh.
the historic hotel buying groups that you can get in. That's still
Send it to a dealer, yeah.
It's all going to go down like, this one has to go for design, it has to go, so.
It's very much a solution sale, so that's why we really want to be included with it. A lot of design considerations. It's not an off-the-shelf product except for the portable. That's kind of a cash and carry. You can install it simple, but you have to know gas, electric, and all that. So we want to be involved to make sure that just from a design aspect, we want to be involved, and then you locally from a customer service aspect.
I see